this series, I'm testing which are the best augments in Black Ops 6 Zombies and which ones you should totally avoid. In this episode, we're taking a look at Cryofreeze, which is kind of the unloved stepchild of all the ammo mods. But there are some augment combos we'll be testing here which create ice storms like the Ice Staff in Origins. So let's get to testing. The first thing I need to do is I need to get myself Cryofreeze. So we're going to go through these first couple rounds here. And our first augment is going to be Big Game, where Cryofreeze can slow elite enemies. Okay, we've just had our first Mangler spawn, but this is not an elite. This is just a special. We need an Abomination to spawn. I believe that's going to be in a couple rounds time. So let's start moving here and let's get Cryofreeze, but let's just showcase how it works before you do any augment upgrades to it. So there it is, 500 salvage. And as we'll see here in a second, hopefully, if it'll activate. Hello? Cryofreeze, are you in there? You good, dog? Where are you? Bro, why is it... It activates so rarely. What the hell? I swear this used to be like an instant proc. Why is it so rare? Okay, there we go. We finally had it actually kick in. God, it was feeling a little sleepy this morning, I guess. Ooh, that Mangler's mean. So there we go. You can see it slows the zombie. And I'll put a little timer on screen so you can see how long that lasted. And doesn't get any super effectiveness on Manglers, sadly. So you just have to take those out the regular way. So let's actually get a weapon rarity upgrade here. Maybe it'll proc more now, because the weapon's doing more damage. Yeah, still kind of weak. I need Pack-a-Punch, so let's go do that. There's Pack-a-Punch. Whoa, this gun looks crazy with the Vault skin and Pack-a-Punch. It looks wild, man. Look at this. God damn. Okay, hell yeah. And honestly, I'm tempted to say, let's get tier 2 here, and let's just keep this skin, because this looks gorgeous. I wonder also if I could get a quick dead shot from this with this sight. I think I already missed. Rip. Need to turn my FOV down for that, I think. Okay, we finally got our first elite to show this off on. So, as you can see, fire into the elite a little bit, and what do you know? It gets frozen. It is still going to beam you, as you can see. And the freeze does not last all that long. But still, it's freezing an elite, and it wouldn't otherwise do that if you didn't have that augment on. Let's try and slow it again here. There you go. Slow down, buddy. Go and charge me. Yeah, not very fast, are you? So it's decent. Cryo is not something that the Abomination is allergic to. It's not the craziest combination here, the craziest synergy, but it's good. It is solid. Oh, yeah. Slow down, Buster. Slow down. And speed up. So before I put some of these new augments on, I want to do a little test. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just time between procs. We're going to just get it to proc, and we're going to see how frequently it actually does activate. So that's one. And then we're just going to... That's two. Wow, that was very fast. That was very, very fast, while the other one was already active. Okay, and then we're getting no procs here, interestingly. Okay. Nothing at all. That was another one. That was another one. So it has... Maybe it has the potential to proc twice in a given period. Let's keep testing this. It used to be that it would proc once, and then it would go on cooldown for like 4 seconds, and then it would proc again. But I'm wondering if just at base here, you get 2 procs every 4 seconds. Or maybe it's 2 procs every 10 seconds or something. All right, we've got a decent horde here, so I can begin my test. That's 1 proc. No second proc, that's a second proc. Was that a third? I think that was a third. That was another one there. That was another one there. That was another. That was another. That was a third. So maybe the way to do this, honestly, is average number of procs per minute. Something like that. That was another. That was another. So from that, I'll get an average in the edit, and I'll put it on the screen of the rough, like very rough, number of procs per minute. Just very roughly. So now we're going to do the exact same test, except this time I have the liquid nitrogen minor augment on, which significantly increases my chance for Cryofreeze to activate. So we'll do it the exact same way. We'll start the round over here. I'll get my horde together. I'll even walk the same way pretty much. All right, looking like we've got a good number of zombies together here. So let's now start the test. That's 1 proc. That's 2 procs. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. Wow. That's 7. Wow. That's 8. That's 9. That's 10. Wow. This augment goes crazy. That was another. That was another. That was another. This is insane. My God, dude. I mean, if I just spray here, honestly, does it just proc on everything? Okay, it doesn't quite proc on everything, but it procs on a lot. So liquid nitrogen is amazing. Like, I rate this augment. Like, it procs on just both those two. It's probably going to proc on another one here. Let's grab this real quick. Get these zombies out of my face. So now, instead of just testing how frequently it activates, I'm going to showcase another augment, which is Frozen Stiff, where enemies frozen by Cryofreeze are frozen in place instead of still moving. So if I can freeze one of these zombies here, you see how it's literally dead still, and it's still just stationary, and it finally broke out just then. So for slowing a horde down, I don't know how many I'm going to be able to proc this on here, but we're going to try and get it on a bunch. Let's see. There we go. A decent number of them are slowed. Look, there's just a bunch of statues just hanging out in the back. And while we're testing this, we should also check the freeze duration. So let's just time this here real quick. Let's get a perfect amount of time figured out. There we go. I can just continuously freeze them. Like, dude, that is so good. Its cooldown time is just so short that they just can't break out without getting frozen again. Okay, so we're back in the... Hello, we're back in the game. We do have a Mangler and an Abomination in the map, so I'm just going to take them down before I go any further. And we're now going to test Extension, which slightly increases the slow duration. So let me get a zombie here frozen. There we go, that's 1. He's still frozen. And he broke. So that's Extension. That's how that works. And honestly, I don't think that's that crazy. Like, yeah, it's longer, but it's not that much longer. It's just a little bit of a boost, I would say. Could be better in my view. And definitely nowhere near as good as just proccing on everything. Like, I would take liquid nitrogen proccing on anything over a very, very minor time increase any day of the week. But something we can now test is the damage that we do to regular zombies, because then we can put on the freezer burn minor augment and test how much extra damage it does to frozen zombies. And that might be really crazy OP, especially if you could freeze an elite. Like, that would go kind of crazy, right? And we are also using Ice Cloud here, so enemies killed while frozen leave a cloud that slow other enemies. So if we just try and get a good slow here on one of these zombies in front of me, it's really not great because it just doesn't proc as frequently. Come on, let's get a slow. There we go. And now if I kill it, that should... Wait, did I forget to turn it on? That didn't seem to do anything. Is this bugged or do I not have it on? Like, that zombie is... Yeah, they're not making ice clouds at all right now. Okay, interesting. And we'll thin the horde out a little bit more, especially of the heavy zombies because... Whoa, wait. That froze... Okay, that worked. I do have it on. I wasn't wrong. It just wasn't proccing before. That was a massive slow. Okay, so Ice Cloud is good. I just haven't been doing it right. It does say enemies killed while frozen may leave a cloud. So it doesn't guarantee it, I guess. Oh, but now it's doing it more consistently. That was the second one. I tried. Let's try it again. That looks like the Origins freaking ice staff, bro. Let me try and get these damage numbers figured out. So I'm going to try and take out some of these annoying armored zombies because they're just going to get in the way of my test. I need to just get some regular zombie kills here. So let me slow one of these. Okay, let's get a regular zombie. Frozen. Headshot. Was that still 940? So it's not doing extra damage. 1070 I just saw. Maybe it goes up to 1070 while frozen. Okay, nice. 1200. I've got a double points, which I will use next round. 1200. That's definitely the most that we're doing once frozen. So we know the multiplier now, which is really good. So now we're going to test and see what the difference is. 1320. Now that I've put on the third minor augment, which is freezer burn, and it increases your damage to frozen enemies. Now in this save, I've put on big game again, so I can test what the damage multiplier is now to the Abomination. So I'm going to get the Abomination frozen here in just a second. Let's actually thin out the horde a little bit first. Okay, so we've got a regular Abomination, pretty much full health. And I'm going to try and get a crit here and see how much damage we do from pretty close range. 1,067. Okay, so from close range, 1,067 seems to be our damage cap. But if I get it frozen, let's see how much it then does. Yes, beam me, beam me, beam me, beam me. 1,467 is our new damage cap. So I'll put the multiplier there on screen. That's with freezer burn turned on. So that's the difference it makes. Okay, so I switched back over to Ice Cloud here because I want to see, now that I've got liquid nitrogen on, how frequently it actually procs. So we're just going to get a bunch of frozen zombie kills here. I'm killing a lot of frozen enemies. That's one Ice Cloud. Okay, that's good. That's freezing a lot in the area. Let's run back through the cloud, freeze a bunch more zombies, and then do the same process. I'll grab the double points. Thank you. Freeze some zombies. See if I can get some ice clouds proccing. That's a frozen. That's a frozen. Didn't get it. Like, I'm really trying to specifically take out frozen zombies right now. And granted, I've got 2 manglers chasing me, so it's not making my life very easy. But if it was every single one of these that created the ice cloud, we'd be in business. But it's not. And as a result, you just end up with a lot of these kills kind of not contributing. There we go. We finally got another proc. They just don't contribute to the result that I want. Let's try and get another proc. Nope. Nope. Not on that one either. It happens, but it's just not frequent enough, in my opinion, to warrant being a major augment. But the issue is that with big game, yeah, that means that I can freeze an abomination. Now, the problem is that the abomination isn't weak to cryo, but because of the fact that you're going to do more damage to enemies slowed by cryo, it is going to make it a bit easier to take those abominations down. So I don't think it's a bad idea to put big game on. And especially seeing as the ice cloud just doesn't proc as frequently as I want it to, you kind of might as well have big game on. Now, if Treyarch changed it so that Ice Cloud procced on more enemies, then yeah, I mean, hands down, I would love that to be the case. But for the time being, big game is my favorite, and then it's a toss-up between liquid nitrogen and freezer burn. Actually, now I think about it a bit more, I think I would take liquid nitrogen where it procs more over freezer burn, just because then I'm doing more damage to more zombies in a given time. Yeah, it's not the same multiplier as it could have been, but there's more zombies that are frozen, so it's kind of multiplying in that regard. So I think that means that my 2 favorites, honestly, here are big game and liquid nitrogen. I think they're both very strong, and I really respect cryo as an ammo type. I think it's a really viable one, and especially if we get some bosses that are weak to cryo in the future, this thing's gonna slap. So let me know in the comments which ones are your favorites, and I'll also link on screen right now to 2 more augment testing videos so you can keep binging these and seeing which augments you should be using in your games. Enjoy.